Niger coup. Tyranny is a lesser evil than President Tinubu, APC chieftain, writes US president. Wow, this APC does scatter. I tell you the gospel truth. The deputy national deputy national secretary or so, Yakini Nabena, has been vomiting the beans, spilling the beans for some days now. Now, another APC chieftain has taken to his pen to write again to the US president about Tinubu and about the coup in the Niger Republic. Let's see what this man has written. A chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Ç0ÜÞ1STS, who has reportedly appealed to United States President Joe Biden not to back his Nigerian counterpart Bola Tinubu in waging war against the Niger Republic. Recall that President Tinubu is the incumbent chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, which is said to be ready to take military actions against the junta in the Niger Republic over the Austin takeover of government and continued detention of democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum. In a statement addressed to Biden, Ogbonnaya, who was a former presidential aspirant on the APC platform, reminded the U.S. president of his speech in 1986 against apartheid in South Africa and the U.S. Senate floor, where he charged America not to become part of South Africa's problem, but to remain their solution. According to Sahara reporters, Ogbonnaya wrote the letter of admonition from his home in Texas. In the letter dated August 21, 2023, which was captioned, "Dear President Biden, Tyranny is a lesser evil than Tinubu," the former aspirant stated that the option of invading Niger was an avoidable booby trap to a political infamy of pyrrhic proportion, adding that if your support of President George W. Bush to invade Iraq in 2002 was a monumental mistake, as you later claimed, endorsing the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, under the leadership of Mr. Bola Tinubu to invade Niger Republic begs a mortal sin. Oh boy. He maintained that the apparent embrace of the ECOWAS leader by the West was polar opposite to everything the United States of America under Joseph Biden stands for. As you ought to know, Tinubu's path to power is not different from a classic coup d'etat. A close parallel in recent American history is the unfortunate event of January 6, 2021, which President Donald Trump attempted to usurp the power of incumbency to cling to power. The world saw it for what it was, prompting me to publish the piece, "Coup in America, Why Trump Must Be Impeached Again." Neither you nor the U.S. Congress needed to be told. Not only was Trump impeached for the attempted coup, but the Americans have also continued to prosecute him for the crime. The Honorable Joseph R. Biden, the common optics is that you are caught in a web of double standard in the case of Africa's Bola Tinubu. This is a man who, as a sitting national leader of a ruling party, grabbed power by colluding with state agencies in a flawed election. Okay, the West is also aware that the said exercise was characterized by Tinubu's pattern of violent extremism, including thuggery and political assassinations. Nevertheless, to drum his well-documented shady background, which includes fake biodata, a corruption profile of international dimension, and connections to illicit drug trafficking in the United States of America. Of course, there was a wave of global campaigns to place Tinubu squarely where he belongs, Ogbonnaya said in a letter. He added the issue at stake is that General Abdurrahman Chiani of Niger Republic seized power through a palace coup d'etat. Suddenly, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, an ageless, violent extremist who broke all manners of constitutional order to snatch power and who continues to show no regard for the rule of law while in office, wants to lead the world to restore constitutional order in the Niger Republic. Clearly, the world is faced with a case of a brigand posing as a forest guard. Oh boy. The politician, however, noted that considering the objective fact that the antecedents of Chiani of Niger Republic before gaining power are by far more moral than those of Tinubu of Nigeria, he said, followed that with the common knowledge of why Africans tend to resort to military coup. Combine such implications with a trending reality that unlike the dictator in the Niger Republic, the one grandstanding as a democrat in Nigeria is in place for a place in Guinness World Record for assembling the most corrupt regime in human history. There and then explains some of the factors why Chani is popular with his people, why Tinubu remains a repugnant pariah, generally seen around Africa as an illegitimate president, cum imperial puppet. Wow. He explained the opposition of the Nigerian peoples to military intervention in Niger Republic is not because of any preference for military rule. Indeed, my people strongly advocate a democratic system. The apparent problem is that Mr. Bola Tinubu, the primary instigator of the conflict, lacks legitimacy and credibility. Oh boy. This explains why all their eyes are on the Nigerian judiciary, not the Niger Republic. These very favorites simply wants to ensure that the Presidential Election Tribunal can rule in line with the Constitution and the extant electoral laws, Bonaya added. So this SKC Bonaya, former APC presidential aspirant and also APC chieftain that is based in the United States, okay, is now writing to the U.S. President Joe Biden, okay, not to support Tinubu in going to war in Niger Republic. Joe Biden will not listen, frankly speaking. Before I check what other people are saying, Joe Biden definitely will not listen. The reason is because both America and France have interest in Niger, and that interest is solid mineral extraction. Writing to US is like exposing your wounds to pepper and the likes. Writing to US is like exposing your wounds to pepper and the likes. Look at how a doctor raises, okay, an epistle about nothing that arrived at the beach of nothingness, a wasteful endeavor. Can you imagine? The only original is drug peddler. Only other information about Mr. P are all fake. Can you imagine? So somebody say, this is Mr. President. The only thing original about him is about drug peddling. Every other thing is fake about him. Someone say, because of your loss of presidential ticket to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you went ahead crying and waiting, writing, crying and wailing, writing nonsense, a bad loser. Can you imagine? They insulted themselves here. This is very good talk. That's somebody's trying to cherish the right up there. So, okay, so this is the state of the nation, and this is what SK Bonaya has written from the U.S., because he's actually a U.S. resident based in the U.S., has written to Joe Biden, president of the U.S., not to support Tinubu to go to war in Niger Republic. They have already made up their mind not going back, so even the letter obviously won't work, even though it might be received and read, but they'll just pack it aside. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment over this write-up.